Imagine a nation where every citizen trusts the institutions that serve them, a place where political boundaries based on ethnicity no longer determine opportunity or justice. What if the secret to Ethiopia's prosperous future lies in adapting the Nordic model of high trust, transparent governance, and universal social investment? Today, we explore practical steps for institutional reform, leveraging decades of Nordic success to build a truly unified, corruption-free, and thriving Ethiopia. Ethiopia faces deep-rooted challenges brought on by long-standing ethnic divisions and political practices steeped in favoritism and opacity. The current environment undermines public trust and stymies progress by rewarding patronage over merit. In contrast, the Nordic model has championed non-ethnic, inclusive institutions that promote transparency, fairness, and accountability. This model, though developed in a context far removed from the Ethiopian experience, offers valuable lessons in building a society where every citizen is valued. Our journey begins with acknowledging the gravity of the existing policies, and then turning our focus toward a blueprint rooted in trust, universal social investments, and a shared sense of national purpose. The heart of the Nordic approach lies in its high-trust public institutions and robust investments in human capital. Across Nordic nations, government accountability, transparent public spending, and dedicated funding for education and health have laid the foundation for sustainable economic growth and social stability. By depoliticizing identity, these nations have forged unified communities where policies are shaped not by ethnic allegiances, but by a shared vision for prosperity and well-being. For Ethiopia, a gradual, carefully planned reform agenda over the next 10 to 20 years can make a resolute shift from competing ethnic loyalties to a unified national citizenship focused on collective progress. To pave the way for effective reform, Ethiopia must address two interlocking challenges. First is the need to rebuild trust by transforming its governmental institutions into models of transparency and accountability. Second is the imperative to invest in the country's most valuable asset, its people. Institutional integrity cannot simply be mandated, it must be earned through long-term policies that ensure public participation, merit-based appointments, and a zero-tolerance stance on corruption. This is not a quick fix. It requires a sustained and meticulous course of action that emphasizes progress over immediate gratification. Imagine a future where every government decision is open to public scrutiny, where civil servants are selected based on their professional qualifications rather than political patronage. This is the transformative vision behind depoliticizing identity and refocusing on national citizenship. When institutions operate without favoritism, they create an environment in which every individual can thrive. Amid diverse communities and vibrant ethnic histories, this shift encourages unity without erasing cultural identity. It simply places merit and equal opportunity at the forefront. The Nordic success story is a testament to how such changes can stimulate economic growth while nurturing democratic values. In practical terms, the path forward involves several key strategies. First, a comprehensive overhaul of existing governmental procedures is necessary to introduce rigorous transparency and accountability measures. Robust anti-corruption frameworks, including independent oversight institutions and enhanced public reporting systems, must be established. Every transaction, decision, and appointment should be subject to unbiased scrutiny, ensuring that no individual or group can operate above the law. This cultural change, although challenging, is essential for creating the public trust that underpins all effective governance systems. At the same time, universal social investment must become a top priority on the national agenda. By channeling resources into accessible, high-quality education and health services, Ethiopia can lay the groundwork for an empowered, skilled workforce. These investments are not merely social expenditures, but strategic economic moves that will enhance overall productivity and long-term growth. Quality education and robust healthcare systems directly translate to a more innovative, competitive populace capable of driving industrial and technological progress. The Nordic model demonstrates that when government prioritizes its citizens' well-being, economic success and social stability naturally follow. A crucial element of reform is the recognition that change must be gradual and sustainable. Policies like universal welfare and progressive taxation require a stable economy and widespread consensus that cannot be achieved overnight. Lessons from the Nordic experience indicate that foundational elements such as trust building, comprehensive education reforms, and anti-corruption measures demand consistent effort over decades. This slow-burn approach ensures that reforms are deeply rooted in the fabric of society and that the benefits of these changes are experienced by all segments of the population over time. Incremental yet persistent transformation can ultimately yield a stable and equitable society. Building on initiatives already outlined in Ethiopia's Growth and Transformation Plan, it is essential to create specialized programs aimed at capacity building and ethical governance. Existing civil service reform programs, anti-corruption agencies like the Federal Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and transparency drives serve as critical starting points. By enhancing these efforts and aligning them with a unified, Nordic-inspired vision, Ethiopia can elevate its administrative efficiency and public confidence. In well-organized institutions, every policy is backed by clear, measurable objectives, and progress is tallied authentic. The roadmap ahead includes enhancing the capacity of leadership, streamlining public administration, and committing to continuous improvement in service delivery. As the journey toward reform unfolds, it is vital to mobilize a broad spectrum of societal actors. Policymakers, development experts, economists, and reform advocates must collaborate closely, sharing insights and best practices from across the globe. This collaborative dynamic is at the core of successful institutional reforms observed in Nordic societies. Educational forums, policy roundtables, and international advisory partnerships can foster an environment where innovative ideas are rigorously debated and carefully implemented. Through such inclusive engagement, Ethiopia can ensure that every reform initiative is backed by a robust consensus, minimizing resistance and maximizing collective ownership of new policies. The transformation process also calls for comprehensive efforts aimed at depoliticizing identity and promoting a holistic sense of national citizenship. This means moving beyond the narrow confines of ethnic-based politics to embrace a more inclusive political philosophy. When state institutions prioritize citizenship built on shared values and equal opportunity, rather than ethnic allegiance or regional dominance, the nation takes a major stride toward unity. This fundamental shift requires both a change in public sentiment and a realignment of political incentives. With a focus on inclusivity and meritocracy, Ethiopia can create institutions that not only command respect, but also empower every citizen to contribute to the nation's progress. Ultimately, the goal is a balanced system where transparent governance, rigorous anti-corruption measures, and enduring investments in human capital converge to form the backbone of a resilient economy. Visualize the charts and infographics depicting steady growth as corruption declines and public spending becomes focused on education, health, and infrastructure. Picture the myriad success stories emerging from communities that have been uplifted by universal welfare programs and merit-based public service. Each image reinforces the message that when trust is restored in public institutions, the entire society flourishes. The Nordic model, with its emphasis on transparency, inclusiveness, and long-term planning, offers an inspiring roadmap, a vision of what Ethiopia can aspire to be if it commits to fundamental reform. In this instructional guide, we have examined the challenges Ethiopia faces, delved into the effective strategies of the Nordic model, and outlined a pragmatic step-by-step plan for reform. We have seen that transforming an entire nation's institutions requires a commitment to both ethical governance and significant social investment. It demands the willingness to pursue change incrementally, with patience and persistence. The vision shared here is not a mere ideal. It is a realistic pathway informed by successes in comparable models of governance and tailored to the unique needs and potentials of Ethiopia. The call for reform is a call for hope, unity, and shared prosperity. As our exploration draws to a close, remember that every long journey begins with a single, determined step. Ethiopia's path to a transparent, inclusive, and economically vibrant future lies in its ability to learn from successful global models and adapt them wisely to its own context. The reform agenda is challenging, and the transformation will be gradual, but with visionary leadership, diligent planning, and broad public engagement, it is well within reach. Join us in exploring how Ethiopia can adapt the Nordic blueprint to build transparent institutions and invest in its greatest asset, its people.